Okay, so once again, very good morning and happy new year to all of you. Is because we are meeting first time in 2021. So this is our first class of networks, and so the agenda for the today's class is to I will talk about just give the overview of the course, means what we are going to discuss and learn in this course. Then we'll talk about something how we are going to administrate this course, means the classes anyway you know that we are using the platform this MS Teams. It has a lot of features as well. First of all, it is an integrated platform where everything is available in terms of your lecture notes. You can ask the questions through the discussion forum in the same platform. Your lecture recordings also will be available here only, right? So, and later on, if it is required, we can create separate groups and then some discussions can be continued. So everything is at a one kind of in a single app, you will get it. Assessments also can be done using that, but okay, that we'll see that, okay, how to conduct the assessments. Maybe I will use a different platform that I will inform you. Then just we'll start the course in terms of what is network and what is internet and different elements of the network. So that's the first, you can say, introductory class, and a few concepts we'll understand about the basic fundamentals of the network, and then we'll proceed to uh, the in the subsequent topics to the subsequent topics. Okay, so the objective of the course, as far as objective is concerned, is to get familiar with the principles and working of state of the art of the networking, right? So in that, what we are going to discuss, we'll talk about uh, routing. We'll talk about the different protocols. The transport layer protocols are. We'll spend um, some number of classes on that. Then addressing, because all of us, we are using nowadays, we are using or you have been using this from your school days. Internet you are using for several applications. Your mail application or chat application or streaming application, YouTube and all sort of thing. These, you know that these all applications run over the internet basically, right? And internet is nothing but it's a network. It's a network of networks, right? So we know little information about all these, like there is something called as IP address is there, that has, without IP address my node cannot communicate to other nodes, right? Then there is something, routing protocol is there. You might have heard about all these information in some pieces. So the idea is that, okay, all these pieces here we will connect and make a, you can say, kind of a solid knowledge for of your computer network. That's the aim here. So so different networking services, what service network services provide, that we'll talk about all these things. So that's a one aspect of the course. Then learn how the communication networks are put together in terms of mechanism, algorithms, and technology components. Then to because just reading is not sufficient. You know that, okay, just reading a book, you will not get a full confidence in terms of whatever you have read. You need to practice something as well. So for practicing, so you need to understand the network internals in a hands-on way also, right? So for that purpose, we will conduct labs. So labs, we will start a little bit delay. First, we'll cover a few basic concepts, and then we'll start the lab, because first few classes we'll do in a theory classes, and then our lab sessions will starting. So tentatively, we will run 10 lab sessions or 2 hours each, and timetable, that schedule is already with you. All of you know about the schedule. It is there on AUGSD website. So here in a labs, we will learn how to write a simple network application, because we know that we are using the applications like mail application and file transfer applications and So many applications we are using, right? So one basic question comes to uh, anyone's mind, or can come to the anyone's mind, is that how basically when I say I means run some application on my machine, and then how it is transmitting that information and going over the network and reaching to another destination. Say for example, right now, um, suppose, so we all of us are connected, right? You have connected from your devices and host devices, maybe laptop, desktop, or mobile phone, and I'm also connected through that, and then we are means basically able to communicate. So we are running some application. I request, I think some of you microphone is on, so please switch off your microphone. Okay, it is disturbing to all of us. Please do it fast. Huh? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so means the basic question comes that it is fine that we are using the application. We are so habitual that, okay, we ignore that, okay, there may be something, some way through that this communication is happening. Uh, but being a computer science student, or being doing the computer networks course, you definitely you have a curiosity to know that, okay, can I write in a simple application, and then knowing the underlying concepts that, okay, yes, ultimately how, when I run an application, how it is going to that information or the data is moving from one side to other side, and then both sides are able to communicate. Actually, they can transmit textual data, audio data, video data, and so on. So we will certain few labs we'll conduct on the socket programming, where you will be writing simple programs, and using these programs you will learn, oh, exactly what is the underlying concept behind underlying concept for communicating over the network or internet. So this is about the learning objectives, and now so just look at in terms of, to achieve these learning objectives, what exactly kind of a topics we are covering. So we will start from the internet architecture and the computer network primitives. Means the vocabulary, something is there: bandwidth, you say latency, end-to-end delay, round trip time, protocols. These are all some keywords. These are the language of the computer networks, right? So although some of the keywords we are familiar, okay, there we know, okay, something bandwidth is there, okay, if bandwidth is less, then okay, that's not good because my application is not running properly. If I need some amount of bandwidth to run such and such application. So these things we hear from each other, and when you get online classes, maybe when started, then you might have received some communication. Okay, you must have a certain internet connectivity that should provide this much of bandwidth, so the seamlessly you can participate in the classes. So like these keywords we'll understand and understand with thoroughly, in terms of not just, okay, we know the word only, but not the physical meaning of that. So we'll start from the primitives part, and then we'll move to the application. First, from the application perspective, we will try to learn the networking concept. So that's why we are using the top-down approach. It is something like called as a top-down approach. So I think some of you may be familiar with something called as a layers in the network. Okay, you must have heard about that, or you must have read somewhere. So ultimately, we are going to cover these layers only. What happens at each layer? Internet basically it's a modular architecture. So modularity is in terms of the layer, and these are the layers basically. If some of you or many of you don't know about these layers right now, don't worry about that. Okay, this I just put it to, maybe if you know, then maybe it will quickly you will say, oh yes, I have heard about these things, and you will be able to connect yourself. But if you are not heard about that, then also is a perfectly fine. Then I think it's a more it is good for me at least to explain you. Otherwise, whatever the half knowledge you have, that will create problem for me. Okay, so in terms of the layers, anyway, we'll discuss these layers in detail later, but right now just tell, because name itself is sufficient to indicate that what is the purpose of each layer, right? It's a network application, so application layer, then end-to-end data transfer, something is facilitate by the transport layer, right? That's why name is a transport layer. Its name is named as a transport. It transports the data from one end to another end. Okay, we can understand in that way. Then data routing and forwarding. I mean, there should be some mechanism should be there where means from my end to your end, how the data will move. Okay, it is not like we are directly connected, right? We are not directly connected. Maybe between you and me, maybe multiple hops are there, multiple nodes are there. Say for example, from Pilani to Delhi, okay, means there are, we need to multiple points are there, right? So you can say cities are there and we need to move from one city to another city and then we reach to the Delhi, something like that. So how we move that, okay, either we ask somebody, okay, now what should I take from this point onwards, left or right or something like that. So similarly, in a network also, when the data moves between the two endpoints to devices and nodes, then there is something which is called as a routing and forwarding, that facility is there, and the responsibility of that functionality is held by the network layer. So network layer's responsibility is to do the routing and forwarding. Then access networks and LANs means how we are going to access the network. Suppose at your home, how you have accessed, maybe you have some BSNL connectivity or Reliance Geo connectivity, right? Or when you are in campus, then you have a local area network or campus local area network is there, and that using that local area network, you are connected to the internet. So different access methods are there, and these aspects are covered in the link layer. Then at a very lowest level, if you say that means your machine is connected by some wire, right? Uh, so on that wire, basically electrical signals are moving, right? Uh, and these signals are converted into your digital information kind 1010. So that's a physical layer aspects, means how the data is moved from on the network in the form of bits, right? The smallest entity of the data is or information is bits, saying 10, we say binary. Okay, all of you know that. So that moves. So these aspects are covered in the physical layer, and then we'll spend some few classes on the wireless and the mobile networks as well, because you know that since last few years, most of the devices most of the devices which access the internet are wirelessly, they access the internet. Okay, there is no wire connected, right? So, and this number is increasing, means drastically. So it's a very important that we should understand um, how wireless networks works and what are the issues with respect to these and how they are different from the wired network. Okay, so I think all set. This is the overall, you can say, uh, journey that we need to, we are going to do in this semester. So if, okay, so let me complete this part quickly and then maybe I will take few questions from your side. So now come to the quickly to the course administration part. So classes, anyway, you know that as a time is 12 to 12:50 for the Tuesday, Thursday, and 5 to 5:50 on Friday. So we have 3 classes per week. Lab sessions means tentatively right now I am thinking to start from the first week of the Feb, but we'll see as soon as we'll complete the first the portion which is required to understand the first lab, we'll start it. I will post the communication related to that uh, me, well before we'll start the lab, at least you say 3-4 days before we are starting the lab, but it will be as per the schedule, whatever the schedule is there, so you don't have to worry about. So the details I will post on the MS Teams. Okay, that will be our single platform where all information will be available in terms of classes and any other operational details of the course. Course-based information, as I said, MS Teams we are going to use. So here most of the material will be there, classes, everything, all information will be here. This is our single point of communication kind of thing. For assessments, as I said, we'll use Nalanda, and now also you can access the Nalanda. You might have received my first communication through Nalanda only regarding that on MS Teams you have to join. So this is a URL, and you already, I think, you log in, and means then we'll do the assessments over that. Evaluation plan is straightforward, means mid-semester test is there, 30%, and Compre is 35%. Duration of the Compre, I think AUGSD has decided 2 hours. Mid-semester is 1.5 hours, and 2 quizzes we'll conduct, 10% each. Dates I will announce as soon as we'll receive the mid-semester date. So accordingly, I will schedule properly, so there is no conflict with respect to other components. And there will be a lab test of 15% that is based on the lab sessions which we are going to do that. Okay. So I think fine. And whatever we will cover in the lab and the lectures. So this is a complete syllabus. It's not like that something which is covered in the lab that is there will be no question in the quizzes or mid-semester test or comprehensive exam. It's you can say it's a complete learning. So some of the concepts we learn through the lab sessions, and some of the concepts we learn through even the question papers. When you're solving the questions paper assessment, different assessments, quizzes and all. Some of the concept you will learn from the theory classes. Okay, so it's all our learning, you can say, components are there, right? So there is no something like that. Okay, lab will maybe only means questions will be asked in the lab test only and so on. Okay. Finally, before starting the networks course in the sense topic, the textbook is this is a textbook. So this is we call as a computer networking, a top-down approach. 6th edition is the recent edition is there, but if you have a 5th edition, that also will be okay, no problem. Not much difference is there. Wherever difference is there, anyway, it will be. I will supply the supportive material for that. So this is a Pearson book, Gross Rows, and that you. As a reference, maybe some of the topics we will take from computer networks, that Peterson Davy book, right? So if you don't have to purchase this book, don't worry about that. Means if you have this book, but I suggest that okay, this book you should get it, whatever online copy or physical copy, you should get this book. And this is my personal advice, right, to all of you. You should purchase a physical copy of this book and read all chapters of this book. That's very, very important, right? Means once you read this book, then you will realize that okay, how your understanding is clear about the networking. It's very important. It's a very nice book actually. You can read like a novel. Chapters looks very long chapters, like 100 page chapters, but okay, they are in a very simple language they have written. Anyway, we will follow all the means chapter by chapter. We will follow all the topics in the lectures, but along with that, you have to read the book also. Then only you will have a comprehensive understanding of the networking concept, and that's very important. I think you understand, right? So this is about the textbook, and this you can consider as a reference book. There are other books are also there, Tenenbaum and Forozen and all. I'm not against to any book, but as far as this course is concerned, I prefer that we should read this book, Pearson book, that's computer networking, and Peterson Davy. You can few topics you can read from there also. So wherever I'll refer, although it is mentioned in the handout also that which topic is taken from where. Okay, so all set. Is there any quick question from your side so far?
Sir, the latest version is 8th edition, right? For that first textbook.
Okay, I know. I don't know whether it's in India it is available.
I was just checking it online, so I found an 8th edition.
Okay, fine. Even sixth edition is okay, but yeah, if it is some latest, because this is actually 2017, so maybe a new version has come. But anything fifth, sixth editions are okay uh, for our course at least. Okay, maybe they might have added few things which is maybe directly maybe not. The fundamental things are same. Maybe a few additional things might have been added. I will look at it if it is seventh or eighth edition. Is it if it is available in India, then we'll see that. Otherwise, sixth edition is more than enough. Okay. Anything else? Nothing. So yes, can we continue now? Then okay. So we'll continue now. So I'll just keep chat. So if anything is there. Yeah. Okay, so now come to that what is a network. So let's see that say for example the purpose of the network is basically the communication, right? This is the way how the internet was evolved in 1980s, like DARPA project was there in US and that time, and then a team was formed and they started the internet to start designing the internet. There is a one famous paper is there, the DARPA internet architecture. Although it is not related to our means directly, it's not requirement of the course, but those who are interested, I think how the internet was evolved and what was the design objectives were there. Um, I will means refer that. Okay, you should read it. I will provide the link of that paper. Link of that paper. You will those who are interested they can read it. Okay, so let's start this thing. Uh, you have, let us say, so the purpose is that okay, it means two nodes can communicate. So these are the two nodes. Let us say this is a node N1 and this is a node N2. If I say okay, I want that okay, I'm running some application on this node and the other part of that application is running on this node, and these two nodes should communicate with each other, right? So what I need to connect these two. Okay, so I can connect like this, maybe wire. Right now we are not going into okay what are the other things are there. Make it simple that okay the two nodes should be connected in some way, wired or wireless or something like that. Any communication channel can be there. Okay, then I think means the whole thing is that okay we need to uh, design an application, and then that application will provide some ways through that it will able to send the data. So the data sending facility will be provided by somewhere in this link. Some software piece will be there running here, some software piece is running here, right? Okay, so fine. As far as the two nodes are there, they want to communicate, a direct connectivity is okay. Now let us say I have these four nodes are there, and I named that N1, N2, N3, N4, right? Now they want to communicate. Any node can communicate to. How many links I require? So I will say I need a one link here, one link here. I need a one link here. I need a one link here. What else? Yeah, because the N1, N2 want to communicate, then I need this link. Okay, so for four nodes, okay, now they able to communicate with each other. Fine. Now, if I say I have something like that, four nodes are there. Total eight nodes are there in my network. So this is N1, this is N2, this is N3, this is N4, this is N5, this is N6, this is N7, and this is N8. Now, how many links? Oh, it means so many links I have to create. This, and it will be a mess. Okay. Now you see that how many on internet. So if we say in a network, if you have as the number of nodes are increasing, these links are increasing. So this is not a right way to build a network. So what is the right? Okay. Okay, good. So now we'll see that how to. So the thing is, if I have something like this, so I have this thing, right? And let's say I provide some interconnection point. So here I can connect one node, here I can connect one node, here I can connect one node. So like that I can now, this looks more scalable solution because if provide something. So this is what basically, this is a shared medium through which these nodes N1, N2, N3, N4, N5, they can communicate. So this, I will say, this is basically a network. So this provides all interconnection, right? Now, interconnection doesn't mean that, okay, there is a direct link between from one node to all the remaining nodes, which was the case I was doing here, trying to doing here, right? So the network is basically, it's a, so this I call as the core part of the network, right? Where uh, to facilitate the communication, there are some, you can say, intermediate devices are there, which their job is to receive whatever data they receive from a node that they deliver to the appropriate destination node. Suppose N1 wants to send something to N5. So this interconnection structure will provide a facility to move this forward, all the information coming from N1 to N5 and vice versa, means N5 to N1, right? So this is similarly the for others it provides. Okay. So this is any, so basically network is an infrastructure, which is a shared infrastructure that allows users to communicate with each other, right? And the basic building blocks of the network is nodes. So nodes are, I say this is a node. So this is,
Excuse me, sir, you are muted.
somebody is doing this thing, so that I think he or she is not supposed to do that, right? So please, if this kind, this will be difficult in that case, right? So in the beginning itself, I told that we need to follow certain protocols, certain rules, and we have to cooperate with each other. Then only the things can move smoothly. So please take care of, if by mistake somebody has done, then uh, please make sure that, okay, it should not happen in future. Okay, fine. Is it fine now? I think now you are able to hear me.
Yes, sir, we
Yes,
can.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so this is the end host, right? So these are all called as a end host or end systems. And how the end systems are connected? End systems are connected to this, you can say, shared infrastructure using a link. So these links can be a physical wired link or wireless link. Okay, two types of links are there. The broad categories. Then within the wire also we have a different kind of wires are there. Twisted pair, you might have heard about it. Even you can read the first chapter of the book. Coaxial cable, fiber optic. These are the wired example of wired connections, or different wires which we use for creating the links or connecting the devices, network devices. And for wireless, we use basically the radio signals. So So the information moves in the form of radio signals, right? So now so what is this in this inside this network core basically? So it also has devices, network devices. These devices are different. End hosts are different. These devices are different in the sense their job is what? Their job is to route and forward the packets. In general, we call as a routers basically. Okay, so different forwarding or routing devices are used in network. Routers, switch, hub, bridges. Although the bridges are not used in nowadays, earlier it used to use, but yeah. But as we should know as a computer engineer, we should know that yes, these are the devices which are used for the interconnecting the different end host. So these are interconnecting devices, right? Router, switch, hub. So right now, don't worry about the difference between how router is different from switch and hub and all. So don't worry about that. We'll do step by step all these things. But I just want to tell you that okay, this is a in between what is there. These devices, they have provide the connectivity in such a way that okay, every device is reachable, right? So now I hope you understand that okay, fine, now N1 can send data to N5, N1 can send to N4 also, N3 also, okay? So, and the from N1 to N5, maybe it is following some route like this, right? From N1 to N3, maybe it will follow this route. So this way, so this is a, you can say, picture of the how this network. So end host, what we learned so far, we know that there is a uh, at the edge of the network, we say this is an edge. At the edge of the network, we have end hosts are connected through the links, and then the core network have the set of devices which we call as a forwarding or switching devices. So these are the different kinds of devices are used: switch, routers, hubs, bridges, etc. Okay. So now this is one single network. Now what is the internet now? Okay. So internet is it different from the network? No, it is not different from the network. It is also a network only. Internet is also a network, but it's a special network. That is, so internet is a network of networks. Means, or we can say is interconnected networks. So there are several such kind of networks are there. So I will take this thing. So suppose this is one same picture which I draw in the previous slide, just in a miniature form I am drawing. So this is a one network. You know what is this? I say H1, H2, H3, these are the host. Okay. Now I'm special name I'm giving, not N1, N2 node. It's a H1, H2, H3. This is a host. And then in this inside that, okay, there are forwarding, switching devices are there. They are connected and they facilitates the connectivity between all these end hosts, right? Then there may be another network. So this network also some number of end hosts are connected, right? Now, and inside that network, these devices, forwarding devices are there, right? And here also maybe this is H6, H7, H8, something like that. Okay. Now these two are different networks. So now all these H6, H7, H8, they can communicate with each other, but there is no communication. No communication can happen in this case between H6 and H1. Because these two networks are not connected. So if I say there is some kind of a interconnection of network, there is some facility, or you can say some system which interconnects all the networks, and that system is nothing but it is an internet. So this network can connect to this internet, and this network can connect to internet. Some interfacing is there. And now H6 can communicate to H6 can send some data which needs to be delivered to H1. Okay, so via this internet, it will go and then it can be delivered to H1, and H1 can send something which can be delivered to H6. Okay, so this is the internet. So like that, there are thousands of networks are there, and these networks are interconnected, and they form this interconnection of these different networks is called as internet. And so the DARPA project, which I was mentioning, that I have mentioned about that, it was the aim of the DARPA project was to interconnect the various networks. That time also there were a few number of networks were there. They were isolated kind of, some islands have been created that time, different a university network, and in some particular defense organization some network is there. So they realized that, okay, in the future we need to interconnect these all networks, then only we can get a maximum benefit out of that. Otherwise everybody will have its own network and they will be able to communicate in that with respect to that only, right? So that's why the different networks have been so they come up with this project, DARPA project, and then they design some objectives, how to connect and what are the challenges are there, and that I'm not going to that part right now to make more, otherwise it will be more complicated. So now one interesting thing about the internet is different from, you can say that sir, means suppose 3-4 networks and we connect them, and can we call this as the internet? No, internet we are calling something which is globally available actually, right? So across through which we can connect, any node can communicate to any node in the world. That is the form of the internet, right? This form of interconnection of network we are calling as an internet. Now, how internet is different means from any a customized network, which interconnection of 3-4 networks. Internet enables the communication between diverse applications. On at end host, which I was talking about, end host we run different applications like your mobile phone or your laptop is there, your desktop. There we run the applications, right? So different kind of application, chat application, streaming application, some accounting, finance related application. Each application have its own characteristics in terms of the amount of data which is generating, kind of data which is generating, speed at which it is generating the data. So it's a diverse application, and diverse devices, different devices are there, and diverse infrastructure is there. So internet connects the heterogeneous types, different heterogeneous network. All networks are not homogeneous. Means these networks which are interconnecting, maybe these links, this link is in this network, the links are used with a twisted pair cable is used. Okay, here maybe the coaxial cable is used. So now these cable are different. Then there's a lot of things are different, means speed at which the data can be transferred, whether the data is reliably transferred or unreliably, and all the sort of, in terms of even I don't want to take the name of protocols right now, but yeah, how the communication between here within this network is happening, that may be completely different the way the communication happening in this network in terms of size, data size. So internet is a network which provides connectivity or interconnection between heterogeneous types of network. They are different in all aspects. So that's the, you can say, beauty of the internet, that okay, we can run anything, and we see that okay, the kind of different sort of applications we run, and any device which have an IP address that can be connected to the internet, we can start accessing or connecting the other devices. Okay, so now come to the structure of the network. So now internet is also a network, right? But it's a special network which interconnects the some large number of networks. So that's why this is a special network, we can say. But in simple, in a very basic way, I can say that internet is also a network only. So if somebody asks you that, okay, draw a diagram to show me, draw a diagram which indicates, okay, it's a network. So you can draw simply this kind of a diagram. You can say, oh, this is the, you say, interconnection or shared infrastructure, and now shared infrastructure provides some, you can say, interfacing points. To these interfacing points, I can connect the endpoints or end hosts, and these are end hosts, right? So that I connect, and this is interconnection infrastructure. And what is there in this interconnection infrastructure? What is there in the interconnection infrastructure? There are, we say that there's some forwarding and switching devices are there, and they are connected actually. They provide a network. They are connected in some fashion, and using that we can connect all the devices. Now all the devices, they are able to communicate with each other. Okay, so this is internet. So we say that network structure, if you just try to see that, okay, how to means define the network. So we have network edge. So this is edge basically. So using the edge, so at edge we connect the end host. So here the applications runs. Applications runs here. Run here. Okay. What applications? Web service. Maybe it is a mail application and so on. All sort of applications. You know that. Then network core is there. This is network core. So I say this is network core. Right. So this is edge, core, and then the access network. So access network means how we are accessing the network basically. So one aspect of the access network is that whether it is access is a wireless or wired. And then the second aspect is, I will give example like in here in campus, how you access the network. In your hostel room, there is a port is there, LAN port, where you connect the RJ45 connector to your laptop, and then you are through. It means you are connected to the network. So this is an office-based. So I will show here. So these are the access networks. So one is that this one. So this is here. One switch is there in your hostel, and through that switch, one router, and then this switch is there in your hostel, and through that you connect your devices. All students connect their device. So they can connect wirelessly also, because nowadays wireless routers are also available, and then directly the RJ45 cable on a network port they can connect. So that's a we call it this a institutional, you can say, network, and through that you connect your device to the internet. Then at home, usually we connect through the modem, so through the telephone line. So then you can connect your all the devices in your home. You have multiple devices. So to connect the multiple device, what you do, you have a wireless router, and through the wireless router, you access through internet. You access from mobile phone or laptop or multiple devices. So this is called the access network, right? So say LAN access, I can show here like this. Suppose this is the at an edge, and you have a local area network. In this local area network, a multiple endpoints are there. Okay. So like in a campus, we have thousands of endpoints we connect through the local area network, and then we interface to the at a edge. So this you can say office network is connected at edge through this shared infrastructure. Okay, now the communication model between the how the two endpoints connect. So there's two paradigms are there. One is the client server model. So in client server model, like some nodes are considered as a client. So I will give the example with respect to, suppose you are accessing the BITS website. So BITS website, suppose this is a machine in which the BITS website is there running. Okay, so we'll call this is a server. So server, and this is a BITS website running here. This is application basically. So, and now and it is connected to the network. Now the people from the different places, means across the globe, they can access from their endpoints this website. They can access all these, I will call as a clients. So why they are client? Because they are running a client application to access the website. What client application I require to access the website is browser. The application name is browser. So we run the browser. In the browser, we have to give certain, you can say, name of the website, which we call as a URL, https bits-pilani.se.in, and then that if I run that application through this, it takes me to server. So the client server is the one, you can say, communication paradigm where server have a fixed responsibility. Always request goes from the client to the server. Okay, server not initiating any request from its side, right? It's not sending data anything to the client without any request made by the clients. So always communication is going from the client to the server. Then another model is the peer-to-peer model. In a peer-to-peer model, means like these two endpoints are communicating. So there is no differentiation with respect to the capability. Here in a client server model, there is a difference. Server have a different, you can say, because server is always contacted by the client, right? But in a peer-to-peer, it is not like that. Okay, this P1 peer will be contacted by P2, or it can be, the communication can be either P1 can initiate or P2 can initiate. So there is no differentiation with respect to the who can contact or who can be contacted, right? So that's called the peer-to. That's why the name is a peer-to-peer model. So application-wise, if you'll see the Skype and BitTorrent applications you might have used, they work on a peer-to-peer model. And on client-server model, the web service example which I gave. More on these aspects, more detail we'll do in a subsequent lectures. But here I just give the, okay, you should know that, okay, yeah, there are two communication models used for the, so as far as the network structure definition, this server is also a kind of endpoint only. Okay, don't confuse in that. This is end host. We call as end host only. But from the communication model point of view, this end host have some special privileges, and this is a regular host with this that we call as a client, and this is a special host because, and the speciality is coming from what? It is coming from the kind of application which you are running. Here we are running server application. So that's why that becomes a special host which can only be contacted by the other. Server will not send anything from its own side, right? So that's a difference. This we have already discussed. And core, I think we already talked about, that is a mesh of interconnected routers. Right now, just I say is a router, but I told you that the different switching forwarding devices are there. They work at a different layer. So right now, don't confuse with the device layers and all. We will just understand, okay, fine, some forwarding routing devices are there. Right now we are giving name as a router. Later on we'll specify according to where these devices are used. Now the fundamental question here is that how is the data transferred through net, or how to build the core means, right? So there are two mechanisms. One is called as a circuit switching, which is used in your mobile network, your cellular network, right? When you make a call to someone, then what happens? Ring goes, and then what happens? That is basically a connection, a circuit is created. So we call this as a circuit switching. So from your end to the other end, right? So your end to other end, there is one means a resources are reserved, means you can say the links on which you can say information is stored, that okay, this communication is going to happen. A channel is reserved, we say that. With respect to the cellular network, we say one audio channel is reserved between you and the remote party, and then the data transfer happens over that. This is called as a circuit switching. Okay, and another mechanism is that is a packet switching. In packet switching, there is no, you can say, circuit is established, right? Packet switching is, there is no circuit establishing in that. Means there is like, so the data from in the packet switch network, the data sent by one node to another node goes in terms of some discrete chunks, and these chunks we call as a packets. So I'll give example. Circuit switching example, more detail we'll do in the next class. Circuit switching example is what? Circuit switching example is your cellular network, and packet switching example is your internet. Internet is a packet switch. Now, what are the difference between these two, and why in internet packet switching we have used or people have used, and what are the pros and cons of circuit switching and packet switching, that we will do in the next class. So now if you have any questions, I can take few questions. So as far as the content coverage for this lecture that we have, I think just we'll stop it here. And any quick questions? I can take the questions now. You can ask through the audio also. If just one by one you can ask, that will be maybe more if it's convenient to you. Otherwise, you can type your question in chat box.
Sir, in the example of circuit switching and packet switching, if we take the example of, let's say, an online class that is happening right now, we know that the internet works on packet switching, but wouldn't circuit switching be better for something that is going on live? So let us say.
So, yeah, please.
No, sir, that was my question.
Okay, fine. So, Aryaman, your question is very good. Actually, good question. Anyway, we'll this will with this note only we'll continue in the next lecture. But the thing is, I tell you that the limitation of the circuit. What in circuit switching, what happens? Suppose a circuit is established. Okay, means the resources are reserved on the path between you and then the remote side. Then what happens? Resource means what? Actually, the bandwidth, right? So suppose it is a 1 Mbps link is there, channel have a 1 Mbps capacity. So 1 Mbps bandwidth is stored on all the links between you and that remote side. Now, if your application is like that, okay, it is not generating the 1 Mbps continuously. It is sending few packets, then maybe it is dropped for some time, right? So then that utilization will be very low as compared to if I don't reserve the resources, and then what happened that anyone wants to send, they can send, and based on the availability of the bandwidth, it can be that packet will be either transmitted, or in case if the sending rate is more than the network capacity, then that maybe the packet might be dropped also, because network is not able to process the packet at rate at which the packets are coming. So your question is, I think you're saying that means for this kind of communication. So most of the this side of communication, circuit switching is better, but the most of the application on the internet is they are in a bursty nature kind of thing. They don't send the continuous data actually, right? Means all the time. So like in a cellular network, what we do, okay, if you want to make a call, we'll continuously speak for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and then we close the call, right? Then it's fine. This is okay. But if suppose you open a connection, sorry, your application is making a circuit switch between you and then the remote side, and then you are sending, occasionally you are sending the data. So that resource is wasted. This resource could have been used for the communication of other end host. They would have communicate using that resources which have been reserved and wasted, right? And using the packet switching, we can support more users as compared to the circuit switching. Because circuit switching, if I say 10 users are there and I give each user, let us say 1 Mbps, and 10 Mbps is over. But I know that, okay, all the users are not going to send the data all the time. I mean, there's a probability that, okay, only 10% of the total users will send. Then I can facilitate more users using the same amount of resources, right? So these are the few examples which indicates that, okay, circuit switching is not a better choice for the internet as a designing the basic communication model with respect to packet switching. But few more numerical examples we'll do in the next class that will clarify all of you in a much better detail. Okay, any other question?
Sir, like what is that X marked symbol in the core?
Yogya, can you repeat your question? Which symbol you are talking about?
Like the hubs, switches, and routers. What are they like? What is special about them that allows the interconnection?
Huh. So the special about one is that they like end host. What is special about the end host? End host, like your laptop is there. So you have a full-fledged operating system and you can run variety of applications you can install, right? So it's a full, you can say, and it can do, it's a general purpose, we call as a general purpose computing machine. You can run any kind of applications there. But these intermediate devices, which are we call as a router, switches, or forwarding devices in general, their job is to just they are also they have also processor. They just receive the packet at a line rate. Line rate means at a 10 Mbps or 1000 Mbps, whatever the link through which they are connected, and they are tuned, or their application is written that they need to read some portion of that packet. There actually that portion is called as a header, and in header they have information about that destination where it needs to forward. And then there is one table is there which we call as a forwarding table. So that table is nothing but it's a kind of it's written that, okay, if this IP address, then the packet should be forwarded to port number 2, this address, then packet should be forwarded to port number 3. Now, okay, I introduce a new term, port. Port is nothing but the interface. Suppose you have a device and that device is connected through 4 links. So I'll say these are 4 ports are there. So the specialty is in terms of that they are running a single application. You cannot run there a multimedia application on a router. Simple example. You cannot play, you can say, the YouTube video there, right? Because these applications are not which media player or something that are not stored on the router, and that we don't know because they are, and their hardware is also, you can say, customized in such a way that is tuned for doing that task only. So the cost can be reduced. Otherwise, if you general purpose computer processor you will put that will unnecessarily increase the cost, and there is no use of it, because the purpose of these it is something like that you post your letter, right, and postal service or courier, whatever. Now then the courier company have the infrastructure or the team of people, and through that they move that your letter to the destination where you want to deliver that, right? So they just look at the address, and through the address they move from one city to another city, and then finally deliver to the destination. So the courier person is not going to recruit a PhD, right? Because what is the use of that? Because this fellow is not, you need to just look at that part only, looking at that address, and then he should be take some you can say transportation system and transport service, and then deliver that. But yeah, end host means they are writing the letter, means they should know, means what are capability, that end person should have a more capability to write the letter, what information he's writing, maybe in which language or what information he's putting. So that person have a different capability, and the person who is just moving the letter, that person have a different capability.
Right,
Correct? Yeah. Any other question? Okay, so no problem. If you want to read first, and then maybe after that, if you have some doubts. So slides I will upload on the file section of the general channel in the Teams, and video also will be available. Only thing is that video you need to, within 20 days you have to download on your local machine. Otherwise, after that it will be removed from that place. So that you have to take care. And on the general channel means related to this lecture means if you have any questions, you can put the question. Maybe I will answer, maybe other instructor will answer, maybe some other your peer will answer, and use this platform as much as possible. So means whenever you have some doubt or something, some question in your mind, without any hesitation, you just put that question there, and it will be answered. That guarantee I can give you. Right, and from your side also, if some observation or something is there, that also you can put it. Use for completely for academic purpose. Don't use this thing for maybe just commenting on others and all these things. In that case, I will completely remove from my class in that case, and you will not able to enter again. Okay, so please take care of that part only. As far as academic discussions are there, no issue in that. You can do as much you want to do. And because that's the only thing we can do in online mode, because otherwise in campus you are there, you can anytime drop in and maybe you can have a discussion with the teachers and all. But now this offline way, still we can achieve the same thing, but you need to be proactive in that. Okay, so with this note, I stop the recording.